You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, ABC soap opera fans. It is Soap Dirt on YouTube, and we have got your General Hospital early edition spoilers for the week of July 3rd through 7th, 2023. We are going to give you the lowdown on some big action happening next week, and we're also going to let you know what to expect on Tuesday, July 4th for the Independence Day holiday, and whether you need to keep an eye on your DVR or whether it'll be a rerun. Before we dig in, if you haven't, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our General Hospital spoilers, promos, weekly spoilers, 2-week spoilers, casting news, comings and goings, all the good stuff you want to know about your favorite soap opera. Let's dig in. All right, the good news is we have some specific dates that you can expect to see these spoilers play out. The first thing we want to talk about is Carly Corinthos and Sam McCall getting together to hash out some things. You may recall that when Drew Cain came over to tell Sam McCall, hey, by the way, I'm not going to be able to really spend a lot of time with our daughter Scout for the next 6 months because, you know, I'm going to be at a minimum security prison for SEC charges for fraud that I did not commit, but my girlfriend did, but I've decided to cover for her. You might remember that Sam was livid at him. She was trying to impress on him the fact that their little daughter, who's what, she's like 5, 6, I can't remember, they keep sourcing these kids, but she's youngish, right? A little girl. That 6 months is going to feel like a lot to her. They say that time passes more slowly when you're a kid because that percentage of time is greater. So 6 months for her is like, if she's 5, that's 1/10 of her life. That's 20, what is that, like 10% of her life. Where for Drew, that 6 months is 1% of his life. But it will definitely be noticed by Scout. And Sam was furious when Drew said, I'm doing it. So, of course, when Sam and Carly talks, even though they're on friendly terms now, I can't imagine that Sam is going to be very thrilled to see Carly, knowing that Drew is now facing 3 years of maximum security prison at Pentonville because Carly decided to insider trade. Let's be clear, even if you love Carly to bits, and I know fans are divided, generally about 50-50, but let's be clear, she committed a crime. She committed a very serious crime. She committed a crime that people go to jail for all the time. It's the same crime that Martha Stewart went to jail for, except Carly actually was more flagrant about it and did something sketchier than what Martha Stewart did. So it is really messed up that Drew is going to prison for her and trying to sell his company to pay her fine to the SEC as well. So Carly and Sam definitely have some things to talk over, and that happens on July 3rd. All right, then on July 5th, we are going to see Nina getting good news. This is on Wednesday. And the only good news in my book that Nina could be getting is that Ned Quartermaine's brain damage is long-term. Let's face it, she needs Eddie Maine to stick around for a long time because Eddie Maine doesn't know who the heck she is or that she turned Carly into the SEC. Eddie Maine just wants to sing, you know, and he is not interested in being Ned. The other good news that Nina might get could come compliments of her attorney, Martin Gray. Remember when Ned overheard them talking, it was Martin saying, look, I'm under pressure from the SEC to reveal my source. But now that Drew has taken a plea deal to serve time and Carly has basically cut a deal to where she's just going to pay this big fat fine, why would the SEC want to keep pushing for the identity of the whistleblower when the case is closed? It's going to be closed on both Carly and Drew, completely closed. So that might be the good news that Nina gets, and she might think, whew, I'm free. Nobody's going to keep poking into this, except, as we all know, it's not nearly over. She is facing some trouble. So we'll wait and see if she's excited about Ned's ongoing brain damage or if she gets good news from Martin Gray. All right. Also, Molly opens up to Christina. Molly Lansing just found out last week that she really doesn't have any eggs to harvest. At first, she was devastated by the endometriosis and the idea that she couldn't carry a baby. And then she and TJ were like, okay, well, let's freeze my eggs and then we can make a baby that way. And now Molly has to contend with the fact that she cannot have a biological child of her own because there's just no eggs there for her. And she's going to open up to Christina Corinthos, and we're going to finally get to see a lot more of recast Kate Mansi in this role, and also of Holiday Mia Kriegel, who of course is playing recast Molly while Haley Polos is in rehab. We have got a couple of videos about this deal and what we expect from Haley Polos and how she may be using rehab to avoid jail time. There's a dedicated video to this. We talked to a DUI lawyer in LA about it, and it was very enlightening. If you check our General Hospital playlist and look for the video on Haley Polos, you will see more about that. All right. So I believe very soon we are going to have Christina offering to be a surrogate for Molly since Molly can't carry a child. And Christina may also offer up an egg. That way they would still have some genetic overlap. So this child would still share some biology with Molly since they share a mom. All right. Before we dig into what you can expect on July 4th, if you haven't, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our General Hospital spoilers, casting news, and more. All right, so on July 4th, there is going to be a rerun. It is going to be the Goodbye Epiphany Johnson episode that was from late March, I believe. Anyway, there is a rerun, so if you have big plans, if you are cooking out, if you're swimming, if you're going to do all that and go watch fireworks, you do not have to worry about missing a new episode of GH because there's not one on. They are preempted.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.